Hello you lovely lot, Joe here. Today I want to take you behind the scenes of why I decided to take on what might just be the wildest challenge of my life so far. I'm always chasing new ways to boost my energy and happiness. I love experimenting with my daily routine, always searching for that extra spark to make life feel a bit more vibrant. One day, while mindlessly scrolling online in bed, I kept seeing people rave about cold showers. It seemed like every other post was someone claiming it was their secret weapon. They claimed it changed their lives. More energy, better mood, even health benefits. Some even said it helped them feel more alive and focused throughout the day. Honestly, it sounded a bit mad. I mean, who in their right mind would willingly swap a warm, comforting shower for a blast of icy water? But curiosity got the better of me. I couldn't help but wonder if there was something to it, or if it was just another internet fad. Could something so simple really make a difference? Was it possible that a cold shower could be the missing piece in my quest for more energy and positivity? So, I set myself a challenge. 30 days of cold showers, no cheating, no warm-up, just me, the water, and my willpower. The idea of icy water first thing in the morning was terrifying. I could almost feel the chill just thinking about it. I love my warm, cozy showers, but I knew I needed to shake up my routine. Sometimes comfort can keep us stuck in a rut. I told my friends and family. They thought I was nuts but cheered me on. Some laughed, some looked at me like I'd lost the plot, but everyone was curious to see if I'd actually go through with it. That made me even more determined. I wanted to prove to them, and to myself, that I could stick it out. I wanted to prove to myself I could do it. I've always believed that the best way to grow is to step outside your comfort zone, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. I was craving a change, something to kickstart my mornings and break the monotony. My reasons were simple. Life was starting to feel a bit too predictable, and I needed a jolt to wake me up, both literally and figuratively. I wanted more energy, a better mood, and a reason to jump out of bed in the morning instead of hitting snooze. And of course, I wanted to test the health benefits everyone talked about. Could it really help with focus, immunity, and resilience, or was it all hype? I marked off 30 days on my calendar, determined to see it through no matter what. This was my personal experiment. I planned to track my progress, jot down my thoughts, and see if I noticed any real changes. I wanted to start each day with a win before breakfast. If I could conquer the cold, maybe I could conquer anything the day threw at me. Could I really stick to it? Would I give up after a few days, or would I surprise myself? Only one way to find out. The challenge was on. I was ready to push my limits and see what I was truly capable of. I was ready to face the freeze. Let's do this. Here's how it went, and trust me, it was a ride full of surprises. The first morning arrived, and it felt different from any other. There was a heaviness in the air, a sense of anticipation mixed with dread. I could already feel my nerves buzzing before I even opened my eyes. My alarm went off, jolting me awake, and instantly I remembered my promise to myself. No more excuses. Today was the day I started the cold shower challenge. My heart raced as I shuffled down the hallway, every step toward the bathroom feeling heavier than the last. I could feel a knot forming in my stomach. I stood in front of the shower, just staring at it, nerves building with every passing second. The thought of icy water made my skin crawl. I gave myself a pep talk. Come on, Joe, it's just water, you can do this. I tried to sound convincing, but my voice was shaky. My brain screamed for hot water, for comfort, for the familiar warmth I'd always relied on. Every instinct told me to just turn the hot tap and forget this whole thing, but I took a deep breath, steeled myself, and turned the handle straight to cold. The shock was instant and overwhelming. The water slammed into my back and I gasped for air, my body recoiling from the freezing assault. It was like being hit by a wall of ice. It felt like 1,000 tiny needles stabbing into my skin, each droplet colder than the last. I flinched, my breath coming in short, sharp bursts. My whole body tensed up, muscles clenching involuntarily. I could feel every nerve ending firing at once, my body's natural reaction to the cold. I wanted to jump out, to run for a towel and warmth, but I forced myself to stay for at least a minute. That minute felt endless, like time had slowed to a crawl. I danced around, shifting from foot to foot, breathing fast, just trying to survive the onslaught. My mind was blank except for the urge to escape. All thoughts of calmness vanished. It was pure survival mode. I was desperate, clinging to the hope that the timer would go off soon. I counted the seconds, each one dragging by, desperate for it to end. My mind raced, wondering why I'd ever agreed to this. My skin turned red, goosebumps popping up everywhere. I'd never felt so cold, so awake, and so alive all at once. When the minute was finally up, I turned the water off and jumped out, barely able to grab my towel fast enough. I was shivering uncontrollably, teeth chattering, but something else was happening too, something unexpected. I felt an incredible rush of energy, like my body had just been jump-started. It was as if every cell was suddenly wide awake. My body tingled. My eyes were wide open and I felt more alert than I had in months. It was a wild, electric sensation. It was a crazy, buzzing feeling, like I just had 3 cups of coffee but without the jitters. I couldn't believe how alive I felt. Even though it was horrible in the moment, the after effect was amazing. I felt proud, almost invincible for having made it through. I thought, that was tough, but I did it. Day 1, complete. I marked it off on my calendar, feeling a surge of accomplishment. Only 29 more to go. The journey had officially begun, and I knew this was going to test me in ways I hadn't expected. I was both dreading and excited for what was next. Would it get easier? Would I get used to the cold? I had no idea. But I was committed now. The experiment was real now. Day 1 was over, and I was already looking ahead to day 2, determined to see this challenge through. The next few days didn't get any easier. In fact, they felt even harder as the novelty wore off and reality set in. Every morning my first thought was, oh no, the cold shower. It was like a little cloud of dread hanging over me before I even opened my eyes. The warmth of my bed was so tempting, like a safe cocoon I never wanted to leave. I'd lie there bargaining with myself for just a few more minutes. I had to drag myself to the bathroom, fighting off a dozen excuses that popped into my head. Every step felt like a negotiation with my willpower. Maybe I'll skip today, maybe just this once. But I couldn't. I'd made a commitment to myself and I didn't want to break it so soon. That first week was pure survival. Each morning felt like a test of endurance and I was barely scraping by. The shock, the gasp, the frantic dance under the icy water, it all stayed the same no matter how many times I did it. I tried to last a bit longer each day, pushing from 1 minute to 2, then 2.5. It became a personal challenge, a tiny victory every time I added a few seconds. My body screamed to stop, to run away, but I kept going. I gritted my teeth and reminded myself why I started. The energy rush after each shower was real. It was like flipping a switch. Suddenly I was wide awake, my heart pounding, my mind clear. I felt alert, focused, and ready for the day in a way I hadn't before. It was as if the cold water washed away the fog of sleep and doubt. But emotionally it was a roller coaster. Dread before, panic during, pride after. The cycle repeated every single morning and it never got old. By the end of week 1 I was exhausted, but proud. I'd survived something I honestly thought I might quit. 7 days in a row, no missed days. Each check mark on the calendar felt like a badge of honor. The dread was still there, but a little less. I started to notice that my hesitation was shrinking, even if just by a few seconds. I knew what to expect, and that the discomfort would pass. That knowledge made it just a bit easier to step in. The feeling afterwards was worth it. That sense of accomplishment lingered long after the water stopped. It was still a massive challenge, but I was starting to believe I could actually do this. Each day, my confidence grew a little more. The mental battle was real, but so was the progress. I could see it in my mood, my energy, and even in the way I carried myself. Each day, I felt a little stronger. The routine was forming, and for the first time, I started to look forward to seeing how far I could go. Onward. Week 2 brought a shift. The dread faded. It was becoming a habit. I stopped hesitating and developed a technique, deep breaths before turning on the water. This calmed my mind and made the shock less intense. I learned to control my breathing, focusing on slow exhales. It worked. I could stand still instead of dancing around. My goal was 3 minutes under the cold. The first time was tough, but each day got easier. By the end of week 2, 3 minutes felt doable. The cold was still there, but more bearable. The sense of achievement grew stronger. Starting my day with this challenge made me feel powerful. My energy was high and I was ready for anything. The battle was turning into a routine. I was even starting to look forward to the feeling after the shower. The transformation was underway. I was adapting, inside and out. The cold was no longer the enemy. Day 15, a huge milestone. The cold shower was now a non-negotiable part of my morning. The mental battle was gone. I just did it. My mindset had changed completely. I wasn't scared of the cold anymore. I'd learned to breathe through it and stay calm. My body had adapted. The shock was now just a quick tingle. I started noticing real changes. I felt happier, calmer, and more resilient. Little annoyances didn't bother me as much. My energy was stable all day, powering through workouts and work. My recovery was quicker and my muscles less sore. Even my skin looked healthier and clearer. The benefits were everywhere, inside and out. At halfway, I was sold. I wasn't just doing it for the challenge anymore. I genuinely loved how it made me feel. The experiment was paying off. This journey had surprises I never expected. My sleep improved. I fell asleep faster and slept deeper. My mind was sharper. I could focus for longer and get more done. The cold seemed to reset my body. I didn't feel the chill outside as much. I felt tougher, more resilient to cold weather. The biggest surprise, I started to crave the cold. By week 3, I looked forward to that blast of icy water. It made me feel intensely alive. The cold shower became a highlight of my day. I went from dreading it to embracing it. The transformation was real. What started as a challenge became a daily ritual. I was hooked. The final week, I felt like a pro. Cold showers were now a ritual, not a challenge. I had my routine deep breaths, turn the tap, control my breathing, and enjoy. 4 to 5 minutes under cold water felt normal. The benefits were clear. My immune system felt stronger, and I didn't get sick once. My discipline improved in every area of life. That daily act of willpower built mental toughness. On day 30, I smiled before stepping in. No nerves, just gratitude. I was proud of what I'd achieved. I felt stronger, happier, and healthier than ever. The challenge was complete, but the journey wasn't over. Thinking of trying this? Here are my top tips. Start small. 30 seconds is enough for day 1. Gradually build up your time. Focus on your breath. Deep inhale, slow exhale. This calms your body and mind. Don't overthink it, just get in. The hardest part is before you start. Make it a routine. Don't give your brain time to talk you out of it. Celebrate every shower as a win. Focus on how amazing you'll feel afterwards. That rush of energy and pride is your reward. Stick with it. It gets easier. You're doing something great for your mind and body. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Every cold shower is a victory. You've got this. Give it a try. You might surprise yourself. So what did I learn from 30 days of cold showers? I learned I'm stronger than I thought. My mind and body can adapt to anything. Willpower and discipline are powerful. Starting each day with a challenge built my confidence. The best things are just outside your comfort zone. I found a tool that gives me more energy, boosts my mood, and makes me feel alive. The biggest lesson: mind and body are connected. Controlling my breath helped me control my mind. The cold shower became a form of meditation, total presence every morning. Will I keep going? Absolutely. Cold showers are now a permanent part of my routine. The benefits are too good to give up. If you want to change your life, try it. You might just surprise yourself.